Before we get into football daft, we'd like to dedicate this episode to the memory of Chris's dad, who sadly passed away this week. Our thoughts, as I'm sure your thoughts are with Chris and his family right now. So this week's show is for Jim Toll.
This is Football Daft with Stephen Purden,
Midfield dynamo and average actor.
Chris Toll,
Target man, suspicious character.
And
Hey, the top end of Stevenson, Grado!
Welcome once again to Football Daft. It is the daftest Scottish football podcast around. I'm John, and now let's welcome the team. First of all, let's welcome a man who made the fatal mistake at the weekend of chopping chilli and then touching his willy. It is Grado.
I'm not joking, by the way. I nearly ended up in the hospital on Friday night. It was that bad.
Really?
Well, I was making jalapeno poppers, and I was cutting the chilies, but I never had gloves on or anything like that, and I totally forgot about it until I went for a piddle, and then I went up to my bed, and I'm sitting watching the telly, and I went, what? And honestly, the burning sensation that was coming through was horrific, mate. And of course, the first thing you do is you run to the tap man and stick your, you know what I mean? Cold water, but that makes it worse. It's the cold water that makes it worse, because apparently it entices it. It makes it. Aye. So I was Google it, and what you're meant to do is you're meant to use milk.
Never, when you're making a jalapeno popper, never touch your chopper.
Never touch your chopper. Well, know it today, because I learned and bought, and I actually quite like it. You know, chefs are wearing like these black gloves and all that now. I bought them off Amazon for the next night.
No, do you know what's in my head now? How much of a bad mood was that chef in at Ibrox last night?
I remember him.
And that man that you can hear, welcome back to the podcast. He's rode in Shergar. He's been hanging about with Lord Lucan because they've been spotted more than he has. It's Stephen Purden, everyone.
I've been a busy boy, John.
I know you have, son.
I've been busy. I've been going to director boxes.
I've noticed that you, like last week we were recording the podcast, so many scenes to do, so many lines to learn, and then there's up on Twitter, there he is, director's box at Ibrox for the European game.
Who did you see, Bob? Did you see him there?
That night, I spent most of the night just chatting away to Stuart Robertson. Do you know what, mate? That's probably, out of all the times being to director's box, that's the first time it's been quite quiet. And Stuart Robertson, big DJ, and that was there, Gordon Jury, but
who was asking for me? Big DJ? No. Stuart?
No.
You know, telling
no, do you know what? Seriously, we all had a wee chuckle at the story of you trying to get Andy Cameron into River City.
I've not heard this story. Please talk us through this.
So he was at the director's box. He was at the director's box a week before me. Do you know what? We were actually talking about this in work the other day. I was telling Martin, and it was funny as fuck, man. The guy who you were going to phone, who you don't even know.
Is he a director or a producer or something?
Right. I'll tell the story, John. Right. I'll tell the story. The week before, it was a Saturday. Rangers are playing Hearts, right? And I'm sitting in the house, a wee bit pissed off at the result, right?
Yeah.
He's chilling out in the director's box after it. I'm a bit up the road. I just get a random message for Grado. Andy Cameron must have been River City. And I'm sitting there, right? But unbeknown to me is he's also sent me another voice note going like that. I told him, wait 2 seconds and I'll speak to Martin McCarkle.
Who?
Exactly, his name's Martin McCarthy, right? But he's stunned there with Andy Cameron, acting the Billy Big Boys, going, I'll speak to Martin McCarkle. and then he's obviously realised he's not got Martin's number, and he's went there to Andy Cameron like, I can't get a hold of Martin, I've just spoke to Bob for you, right? So I've texted him back, sitting pissed off, but giggling in my brain somewhere, going, I can picture him in there acting the way I know what he'd be like in there.
Because I like talking to Andy, and I was going, I was a bit like, do you miss it? Do you miss it all? And he was going, Kim, I'd like to do one more thing. I'd like to do River City. I went, I'll phone Mark McArdle for you. I goes, hold on. I think that's a great idea.
And you know what? It is.
That's a great idea.
It is. It is.
Check Cherry and take the high road, man. He was a postman, wasn't he?
I think he was. Something like that.
Was
he not a bit of a heartthrob, or no?
He was a bit of a heartthrob. I think he was having affairs with folk. And fun enough, by the way, those 3 riddles this week. By the way, there's a lock. There's a take the high road.
Special.
Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert!
As I mentioned for my 3 riddles later on. But anyway,
but the thing is, mate, when I looked at it at the time, I went, I know he's in there saying he can get a hold of Martin and all that, and I'm his fallback going, I've spoke to Bob, so I've just texted Scale back going, I can only ask the question.
Have you asked the question? Is Andy Cameron going to be on River City? Have you asked the question? Because you've got sway.
We'll get to that part, right? So I'm going like that. Right, I can only ask a question. He's ended up Sawswold because he's went out with Stevie Dukes and fucking Nathan Evans and Arfield after it. He's woke up the next day, looking through his phone, sent me a voice note, pissing himself, laughing, going, I messaged you saying I want to get Andy Cameron in River City. Right, so I went into work the next day. Me, Jordan, Big Grant, Martin McCarty are storing talking, and Jordan said something about Scott Squad, then I said something about Grado was filming that the other day and all, blah, 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 the podcast. I've went, he's messaged me saying about Andy Cameron, but I'm talking to Martin, so I'm kind of planting the seed a wee bit going, we're laughing about the whole story of you, but I'm going, that wouldn't be a bad thing, fucking Andy Cameron coming in. And then I started going, it wouldn't be a bad thing, Grado coming in either. Do you know what I mean? So I'm going like that. I was like, he's got away on the way and all that.
You could be Buster's feather.
Yeah. I'm not joking. Imagine Andy Cameron and Grado coming in as a fucking new family.
Brilliant. Make it happen. Make it happen.
Buster, what did you say, Grado?
Buster Senior and Buster Junior.
Yeah. Do you know what age Andy Cameron is now?
He must be well into his 70s.
Is
he?
He's 83.
Wow.
By the by, man, he's still as quick as a dart.
Oh, aye.
Yes.
Yes, I honestly think he would be golden, Riverside, as would yourself, Grado, if you come back. 'Cause, do you know what, mate? You were raw. You've went away and you've learned.
I went out and I've learned my craft.
I'm pure high-hatting you now, man. I'm last in my new house, not like that. You went away and learned. You've learned.
Well, so I think you can make this happen, Stephen. I want to see Andy and Grado as the new family in River City. I think it'd be a beautiful thing. You were at Ibrox as well last night, boys. Obviously, one story that's dominated in Scottish football this week. We did a special Rangers staff, which you can get on the channel right now, is obviously the passing of Walter Smith at the age of 73. What was it like? Game aside, we'll get to that, but what was the atmosphere like round Ibrox and in that stadium?
It was very subdued to begin with. It was a bit, you could tell everybody's thinking the same thing. Do you know what I mean? For a start, trying to get there last night was a fucking nightmare.
Oh, Jesus.
It was a nightmare. Because
Yeah.
obviously, it was one of them mad depressing feelings when Grado driving there in the rain, knowing Walter's passed, knowing there's going to be the minute's silence, and it was just a horrible feeling, the whole thing.
And especially, I mean, I don't know why they never delayed it 15 minutes, because so many folk missed the kick-off. I missed a minute's silence. I came in about 3 or 4 minutes into the game. I thought, with all this COP26 shite that's in Glasgow, the rain isn't helping, surface water on the roads take care, all the rest of it. And I thought, come on, what hell would it have been to the late 50 minutes? There's still buses on the motorway as well, so a lot of folk missed the kick-off.
Yeah.
So I can't speak for that, but certainly, because Rangers did start off in the front foot for the first 7-8 minutes, didn't they, Bob? Until
I think Rangers, it didn't it? The way the game, me and you were sitting fucking shell shocked, going to go. We were so in control. It looked like it was just a matter of time where we're knocking the ball about well, then fucking bang, bang, 2 goals, man. Absolutely. But that's becoming the running theme now. It wasn't even as if Aberdeen cut us open. We were the architects of their own downfall yet again. Goldson, I do not know what was going through his head playing that ball to Lundstrom. The second goal, Tav's just sleeping, Brown's just ran off him. And it's just the absolute fucking pattern of our season so far.
I guess it puts a big dampener on, you're there to celebrate Walter's life and then you get the result you are. But I mean, fair play to Aberdeen. Obviously, they played quite well. They didn't play extremely well. Again, like you say, Stephen, it's been the story of Rangers season. And then obviously...
Sorry, on you go.
Obviously, across in Edinburgh as well, there's Celtic, I think, in all accounts, came out flying in that first half. Ibs got back into it a wee bit in the second half, but and there's Hearts still unbeaten but dropping points now. So, and Dundee United again just falling away just a wee bit now. So, I guess you're looking over your shoulders at Celtic now.
One word, very worrying.
Very worrying, yeah.
That is worrying.
It's 2 words, but I'll let you off.
2 words.
Aye, but it's very worrying, should I say. It's worrying. Because a result like this has been coming, and I'm no confident one bit for Sunday. I believe that on Saturday night Celtic will go top of the league, and I just don't know if we're going to beat Motherwell on Sunday, because it actually reminds me CVG's first couple of seasons. We've regressed back to 2018. That's the way I feel that we're playing just now. And I think a lot of players' heads are away. I think they're away, man. Goldson was just he just isn't like the same player.
Totally agree, mate. Totally agree with you. Totally agree. I think it is like we have regressed. Is that the right word, isn't it? Regressed. Yes. Well, I keep saying it. I'm fed up saying it in the group chat with my pals now. I keep repeating myself. We are now living in the world where we didn't qualify for the Champions League. The way the team is now is the fallout of not making the Champions League. We gambled hoping we were going to make the Champions League. We didn't. Grado was saying last night, you're looking at that bench, none of the players, apart from Arfield, none of the players you bring on last night are going to make that team a bit better. At least Arfield try to go beyond and get in behind. Hadji doesn't do that. Roof doesn't do it. Morelos doesn't do it. Sakala comes on. Scott Wright comes on. Still not seen a lot of Sakala, but what I have seen, I don't rate. Scott Wright, I've seen enough of him now to put my eggs in a basket and go, nah, he's not for me. And I just think no making that Champions League, that Malmo defeat is paramount to where we are now. And if we do not win this league and Celtic win it and go straight into Champions League, it's very worrying. So come January, we need to stick or twist when it comes to buying players, because I know the board can't keep paying money out. We know what happens when that you don't run a business properly. Fuck, we're Rangers fans, we all know what's happening in the past, but it's absolute and unbelievable importance that we get in that Champions League, because if Celtic do,
that's it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, you'd saying that though, they've had all the money in the bag anyway, so they could have been streets ahead and have not. But you never know. I mean, I have to say, last night it was really disappointing. I mean, there was 21 goals in the Scottish Premiership last night. 21 goals, amazing result for Ross County, by the way. Hats off to Malky Mackay. That's some result.
What did that finish?
5-0 to Ross County. Against Dundee, you had 2-2 at Motherwell St Mirren, really exciting, and yet none of the games are on the telly, and they've got Preston versus Liverpool, which is just a rubber match on the telly. It's shocking. I mean, I think the Premiership this season, and in fact all the Scottish leagues, when you look at how tight the leagues are below the Premiership, the Championship, League 1, League 2, it's just been a really great start to the season. It's just really disappointing to see Sky Am, showing any of the games.
That's why we've spoken about it on this podcast before, why the clubs don't get together and make some sort of fucking SPL or Scottish Cinch app, the Cinch app or whatever you want. Well, no sense, but you know what I mean? Some sort of Fire Stick TV where you can watch every game, because I would rather watch some of these games than the Premier League games.
Tell you what game I wouldn't have minded watching last night. Alloa versus the Rangers Colts.
That boy got a hat-trick, didn't he?
Aye, 3-2 we won.
Rangers
the big man get 3 goals, aye.
Well, talking of Rangers Colts, we're going to be speaking a special open line this week. We're hoping to speak to Bob Malcolm, Barry Ferguson, to get their memories of Walter Smith and get a couple of stories to celebrate his life. As I say, you boys told some brilliant stories on the Rangers Daft there this week about Walter Smith, so hopefully we'll get a few from Barry and Bob on the open line later on.
A couple of messages, by the way, for folks saying that they enjoyed listening to that, and there was a lot of Celtic fans that had DM'd me and texted me and they said they listened to it as well. So
Well, Stephen went viral. He went viral with his story about Walter.
I walked into my work on, what day was that? What day is this? Thursday. I went into my work yesterday.
aye,
Walked in and the makeup lassie Cheryl, I walked in, she was like, Stephen, George Bow was talking about you in Clyde One, you've went viral. Because he's somebody called Walter Smith. And I was like, aye, he's one of my heroes that passed away. And she was like, I'm really, really sorry. I didn't realise that's what it was about. And I deliberately made her feel like shit and I felt bad, man.
That's funny. Before we get...
folk were talking about the Scottish squad yesterday. I know, by the way, that video. Everybody was talking about that wee.
Aye, no, it was a great story. So hopefully we'll get a few from Bob and Barry later on. Before we get into the show, though, a few bits and bobs to come on back on from last week. Stephen, obviously you missed this, but the big question we asked, and you might have a different answer for this, Stephen, was what do you call the bit between your balls and your arse?
Your taint.
Wow, your taint. Now, so the actual medical term for it, we found out, was the perineum. But we were saying I called it the grundle. the gooch is...
I can't, John, you're such a fucking folk up, man. Like the way you come up with these words, man. Like the Preston game's a fucking rubber match and the bit between your ball and your arse is your grundle.
And the gooch is a very popular one. The gooch is
I'm only saying taint because years ago we done a pilot for a fucking kind of supernatural comedy thing called Staked, right?
Right.
They tried to punt and nearly get took off the gun. It was no bad.
Right.
And there was a scene in it where we had this conversation and I didn't really have a name for it, but they, in the script, my mate Kev that wrote the script, calls it your taint.
Your taint. Well, a couple of listeners have been in touch. See what you think of these suggestions. Andrew says that we're all wrong. It's actually called the twerrent, because if it twerrent your balls, they would fall out. So, and Albert's 11 on our YouTube channel says it's called the Tisney because it Tisney your balls and it Tisney your arsehole. So yeah, we'll still get to the bottom. We should have that as the big question next week.
Aye, I think that because there's so many different. Did you say taint as well, Grado?
I say taint, but it's for the Yanks, but all the Americans called it their taint.
Right.
Oh, it's my fucking taint, bro.
Taint. What is it? No, like somebody calls it. What is it? My work. Somebody calls it like the runway or something.
The what? The runway.
The runway.
I don't know when you get. Oh no, better.
Right,
steady now. What's been happening in Scottish football? There's not been much. We've had some great games there last night. And we're going back to last week's show. Grado was talking about how excited he gets when he sees a Rangers top wear somewhere unusual. Stephen, you know, like when you're on holiday or that, and you see a Rangers top. You
I didn't even know that.
All right, you meant it when you're on the telly and that, Grado.
Because remember, is there any that pops out with you? See if you get the same man as me, Bob. The first thing I thought of when I thought of that.
Let me think. See a Rangers top.
I mean, I totally popped when young Sheldon was wearing a Falkirk tracksuit. Like,
Did Mike Tyson know wear one once?
See, he did. He wore the 2010 strip. He got pictured in that. But the first thing that popped into my head, Bob, was Kevin and Perry Go Large when they finally get to beef and they come at the airport.
Oh, that's right. Fucking Nicola loves that fella. That's right, man. It's a weird one because even on holiday, man, me and my mates have a joke about this, and my mate was away for the October week. He's Wednesday, he's away to Spain, and he's fucking voice note me. He's like, fucking Celtic taps everywhere. Is that all they pack? Is that all they wear? They just go on holiday. I think you see more Celtic taps when you go abroad and all that, like guys. But when I see a Rangers tap, it's always like a pure. There's one there, and it's a wee.
Do you feel the need when you see like them to go over and say, all right, mate, I'm a Rangers man too? You feel that kind of...
I think there used to be that, man. I think the older you get, like I only wear Rangers taps about the house really, or wear it. I don't really wear them going out anywhere as much, but when I'm going on holiday, I wouldn't really pack anything that way now. Do you know what I mean? But when I see somebody wearing that, it's always just a wee, like I say, like a wee, mate. Do you know what I mean?
I went to New York in 2010, right? And I went to the bit where John Lennon got shot.
all the highlights, right?
That's one of the things that are in the thing with it to do. Go and see where John Lennon got shot. And there was a guy standing there, a kind of homeless guy, with the NTL night watch.
Aye.
And I went, that shirt reminds me of Michael Moles. And he was like, what? But she's obviously been given it, but I was still like, go back and stuff like that.
Aye. The kind of V-neck one.
Aye,
An NPL. Aye. That reminds me of
reminds me of Michael Moles bigging. And he's like, that, what?
There's always that, isn't there? When you see a certain strip, it always reminds you of a certain player.
It reminds me of Moles scoring against PS Eindhoven. We pumped them at Ibrox.
It reminds me of a pre-season game. I remember a pre-season game when that tap first came out. I can't remember who we played. It was maybe like a Finnish team or something like that. But it's weird how taps like remind you, like the
Who does that remind you?
Lorenzo Amoruso.
Big time! Aye! It does!
Stephen, what top's that, Stephen?
Big Ammo. It reminds me of Big Ammo.
What's the away top from what season's that?
That's 98.
7. I think it's 97, 98.
Aye, 97. Walter Smith. We wore it for 2 seasons, did we know?
I don't know.
We wore it Walter's last campaign when we lost the Scottish Cup at Parkhead, Scottish Cup final, and I'm sure when Advocate took care, we kept the same tap.
Really?
You should do that with your pals. Like, see if your pals like hold it up atop. It's like one of these Rorschach drawings. You know what I mean? Who does this player? And it'll tell you a lot about their personality when you show them the top.
Yeah, that could be a wee football daft segment.
There we go. We can hold up a random top and we say, what player does this remind you of? Right, that's a good one. Let's do that next week. Ian got in touch with us off the back of Grado talking about this, seeing this Rangers top and Kevin and Perry. He says, he sent us a picture now, Stephen, I don't know if you'll get this, but he was wondering, there's a picture of former WCW owner Eric Bischoff. Now, I put it on the plan, and if you watch the video version, you'll be able to see it. It's basically there's a wee boy stood next to Eric Bischoff, and he's like, it's almost like he's saying something. He's wearing the old Kuhn's lager. Now you see that top. That, I mean, that's Ali McCoy, Mark Haley kind of era of Rangers top, isn't it?
Aye. That's like 90. What would you say that is? 94, 95?
That was 92, 93, 94, 95.
Aye. Well, that it's like he's pure screaming at him as if fucking, we are that people!
And this wrestling promoter's going, what the fuck are you talking about, Pat?
It's definitely something that's abroad in Disneyland, because that's always, I think that's what it was. It looks like it was when Hulk was announced or something like that, when Hulk Hogan was announced.
Right, there you go, detail from Grado. There we go. So yeah, you can see that picture of Eric Bischoff with a young lad in a Rangers top. If you would sign up to the video version at patreon.com/footballdaft. Anyway, we started this new feature, Steve, while you've been away, where basically, because you know how Grado's moaned for ages and ages about don't talk about football, we just want to talk about stupid stuff. Well, we started this feature and Grado's not having it.
I can't be bothered with it.
What is it?
Right, so I'm going to give you 3 stories, right? And you've got to choose what one you want to talk about, right? Okay, so here's this week's 3 daft stories, right? Would you like to talk about the man who found an eyeball in a can of baked beans? Would you like to talk about some strange items that were left on a train in Glasgow? Or would you like to talk about what happened when a guy broke into the Scottish Parliament?
You know what I mean, Bob?
What you choose?
See, what was the last one?
A guy broke into the Scottish Parliament. You want to find out what happened to him?
Guys, is this what you've been doing?
I can. He's loving it, Bobby.
This was to appease Grado.
Right, if I was to pick one, I would like to pick the stuff that was left on a train.
Right, okay, well, this is a story. A Glasgow party goer left space cakes, a corset, and an inflatable person on a train.
I knew it would have been something dodgy, man. I knew it would have been. It isn't going to just be a mobile phone and a set of keys.
Yeah. The British Transport Police have been in touch saying if you want your stuff back, please get in touch with them. They tweeted, whoever has organised the party in Glasgow with an inflatable person who described it as a corset and these space cakes you left in the train, poor organising. We've taken them if you want to give us a call.
I take it space cake's a hash cake.
Yes.
Aye. That's I mean, that was in Glasgow.
Yeah.
Only in Glasgow, man. Fucking a corset, a fucking blow up doll, and a fucking space cakes.
Sounds like a fucking good party.
I know. Look at Grado, man. He's hating this bit of the show, man.
This is what Grado's now does breakfast radio, so this is what he has to do with every morning. That's what he says.
I don't
You know
know
what I love?
We don't talk about hash cakes and inflatable dolls and all that one. We can not allowed to.
I love John's enthusiasm for this wee segment. I love Grado's fucking absolute.
Do you know what? I'm going to dump the segment because it was put in for specifically for Grado to talk about something stupid.
That's the irony that he doesn't want to talk about football, but you're putting that in and he still doesn't like it.
I know.
I mean, I want to talk about something else. Something else. Do you know
What do you want to talk about, Grado? You have the floor. You have the floor.
Well, what can we talk about? What have I found out about this week?
Do you know what I would like to talk about, man? Sitting in fucking hospitality last night, man, and Grado was like rehearsing his fucking Go Radio part, man.
What? Oh, please talk us through this. Please talk us through this.
People were looking at me and I was like, this is Go Radio.
Sorry,
they were calling what you did the radio, and I was going, I'm doing it from 6 until 10 this morning, and this is Go Radio. That's you up to date on Go. Surface water is affecting the roads in the M8 between junction 16 and junction 19. If you spot anything else at all, give us a call. It's 808 700.
You could see there was tables next to us and guys all having a laugh and chatting, going, "What's he doing?" I took 2 seconds, John. What's he fucking Grado? What?
Doing radio live, pretending to do radio. That's brilliant, Grado. That's brilliant.
He's never off.
I know. Exactly. Do you want to talk about something, Grado?
What do you talk about in the radio match? Little mixing that.
No, what was funny, man? One of the guys goes like that to him at the table. What radio station is he today? And he's like, Go Radio, mate, the man at the advertiser around the stadium there. But the thing is, me and Grado go to hospitality, right? So he's filming Scott Squad for Motherwell, and I'm fucking filming River City in Dumbarton. We're going there. He was flying. He was going to get there before me, but then he get held up in traffic, and vice versa with me. So I got there quicker. So I'm like, right, purely like that, right, you want me just to wait? He's like, no, just go in. I was like, you know, I'm to wait on you. He's like, just go in. I was like, right, all right. Gets in, man. Swaggers in. Greg and all his mates, like 2 tables of them, man, all sitting there. I walk in, man. I sit down with one of the guys. Go and get something to eat. And I'm like, right, no bother, mate, cool. So I goes up. A fucking roast, like ham and totties in the middle of all these guys sitting eating like that, man. Go like myself, where the fuck is he, man? He needs to up. Sitting there like that. So, how long you been in River City?
I love that.
What were you doing today?
Then I fucking turns up with my makeup stolen for Scott. So I forgot. I never had time to wash my face, John. Because I was fucking that makeup on you. And I'm like, makeup on everything. And I don't know if you noticed or not, but I had black hair dye in my hair and all because the thing with all the grey bits in my head and all.
Are you going grey, Grado? Oh.
Anyway.
It was funny, man. Do you know what? It was an alright wee night apart from the actual game.
Well, there you go. So yeah,
it was just talking about but the whole game, but it was like a pure nightmare.
Aye, it was.
When Scott Brown scored that goal, we were just like, we just turned around, we kind of laughed at each other, like, what is going on?
Aye. It was the way he's having the fucking time of his life on the pitch when that goal goes in. He's milking it for everything, and you're just sitting there going, "Fucking hell, man!"
The thing is, I see folk now like going, "Oh, Scott Brown celebrating all the rest of it." You think that's what it's all about, but do you know? What I mean? Imagine if you played, being a Rangers fan, and you score against him, you're going to go off your nut.
Aye, exactly.
Or if you played for Celtic, sorry, if you played for Rangers, you got to. You know what I mean?
Like, do you know what the thing is? But it's like, and then who was it, man? Somebody I seen saying something. It's like, I mean, Aberdeen last night, their time wasting was absolutely embarrassing. See, like Joe Lewis and all that, it was so embarrassing. But that's our fault.
Aye, do
you know what I mean? So
it's our fault that we can't break down a defence between Ross McCrory and David Bates. When you think about it, and that's no harm to them, but come on.
Scott Brown playing sweeper, and next time he's got fucking David Bates and Ross McCrory.
Aye. I mean, they've not kicked a ball all season.
No.
Well, listen, we'll get more chat, I'm sure, on Rangers Daft this week. Apologies for no Celtic Daft this week, but I'll be back in the next couple of weeks with Ryan and Chris, hopefully. Later on this show, we'll be playing for pies in the player profile playoff as per usual. On the big question, as it's Halloween, boys, we thought we'd look for spooky footballers. And we'll be revealing last week's swankiest moment with Eldado and getting you to vote on a new one. Grado's got our 3 riddles with a Take the High Road based one in there. We'll look forward to that. And on teammates, it's former Rangers and Motherwell man, Maurice Ross.
Right, so obviously we were talking about at the game last night and all that, and it was courtesy of our sponsors, G4 Claims. They got us a little bit of hospitality, but that's not already, right? Remember, if you've been in a road traffic accident and you're not at fault, G4 Claims can make it easy for you. They can provide you with the complete accident management support you require. They'll recover their costs from the at-fault party, sort you out with a like-for-like vehicle replacement. They will also organise your vehicle to be repaired at one of their approved body shops and returned to you. Should your vehicle be deemed a write-off, they will recover the pre-accident value for your car and write you a big fat check for it. And best of all, it won't cost you a penny as they charge the at-fault insurance direct. G4 Claims don't cold call, they don't buy data, and once they've processed your claim, your insurance will remain unscathed. And the best thing is, Nicole and the team over there won't take on your case if they don't think they can help. So, if you've been in a road traffic accident or know someone that has, get onto G4 Claims on 01698 767 172. That's 01698 767 172. Get them at notatfaultclaim.com or find them on social media at G4 Claims Limited. G4 Claims, not at fault claims, made easy.
Football Daft open line. This week we thought we'd do something a bit different. We would normally get you guys on to give us your points, but we thought we'd invite somebody onto the show that can pay tribute to Walter Smith, who a guy who's worked with him. We Grado and Stephen shared their stories on our Rangers Daft, but we thought we'll go straight to a man who's worked with him. It's Bob Malcolm. Welcome to the show, Bob.
Right,
Hi
Bob.
lads, how you doing? How are you,
Not
alright?
bad, mate, not bad. Thanks for joining us, mate.
No worries, no worries.
I think we should maybe get like a wee football daft like testimonial for Bob now, man. That's like 3 times he's been
I
on
know.
this.
Might start getting fucking paid for it now.
Mate, fucking no chance we still got you paid for it.
Grado does, he's put 3 chins on. That's the last time I spoke to him.
All right, mate. You always come on and call me chicken tits and all that.
I know, it's because you can take it. It's a good laugh on it.
But anyway, I know I say this every other kind of couple of weeks, but I did start a diet on Monday, and we was at Ibrox last night, and sure I was offered a pie, Bob, and what did I say?
He said, no, these two.
He's two.
So Bob, you obviously were at Ibrox last night, so you were taking on Rangers B.
Yep.
But where were you when you found out the news?
Where was I yesterday when I found out the news? I had a couple of missed calls, and my dad actually, Fergie texted me, and I don't think it was announced at this point, and he texted me saying, I think Walter's, I can't remember the words he used, but he was basically struggling. And then just at that, there was something in a group chat where the club had announced that he had passed away. So, obviously sad all around, a legend of the club, and I don't think anybody will forget him.
No. I know, but it's just, I know that we all knew that he was no well and stuff like that, but just the shock at what was brutal. I think nobody, obviously there was, Coisty was saying that, he was struggling at the weekend and they were meant to go and see him and all that and it got cancelled, but I think it was just a horrible shock, wasn't it?
Definitely. I know that everybody knew he was ill, maybe a year ago, just under a year ago, and I seen the pictures that he was at the golf day.
Mm-hmm.
And to be honest, at that point, I was thinking, not thinking anything about death or anything, but you could see he had lost a lot of weight, and it wasn't the Walter that everybody knew. But
Aye,
to be fair to him, he got up and he was out the house. He's no one for sitting about. So fair play to him for going and going. And I think it was Andy Snelly's daughter's golf day. So he got up and got out and he went to see his mates, and he was still fighting at that point.
Aye, it was the photo when you seen him, like obviously when everybody was together and you seen him next. Was that the photo you seen him next? And Alex Ferguson was there as well.
Yeah.
And you see, obviously, Fergie's been no well today, and you see him back, and he's kind of, he looked a bit better. But then you see Walter, like obviously, like what I was saying on Rangers Daft, like Walter wasn't he? He was quite a big guy. Do you know what I mean? Like looked quite solid, and it gave me, I don't know, it gave me the fear seeing him like that. Do you know what I mean? It just didn't look like him, mate.
No, I was the same. Obviously, you both played the charity game when he was in the changing room and stuff, and you see what sort of man he was built to build him back then, even though he was a bit older. Always holiday suntan, always looking brilliant, and even though he's still looking brilliant, but you could see that he had lost a lot of weight.
Aye.
And it was a shame, but even at that point, nobody really knew. It was kept private. It's probably the first time that I know anybody in the limelight that's went through that, and most of it's been kept to the family and close friends. So fair play for that.
Can you remember meeting him for the first time, Bob? What was that encounter like?
To be honest, the first time, normally when we were kids signing contracts at Ibrox, you would go in and go into the room and Walter and that would sign the contracts with you. But there was something happening. I don't know if they had a game the day that I signed my contract. They had a game, and it was one of the staff that had signed it. And but the first time after that, when I went onto the staff, I just remember that Walter knew everybody. It didn't matter what age you were, what team you played for. He knew everybody's name, and he would never walk past you in the corridor. I can always remember that to be at a young age, everybody used to hide him. Even not so much first team players, but reserve players, kids, under 16s, first year apprentices. We all used to be shit scared when we walk along the corridor because you used to hear him and Archie shouting on whoever looked after their room. Like Fergie was one of them. Used to clean their kit and stuff and put their boots down, go and get them tea and toast. And you just used to hear their names getting shouted constant. So we first year apprentices used to kind of try and swerve that so that you weren't getting involved with them. But no, he was some man. I know that there's a lot of people saying that he was a hard man and used to throw things about and stuff, but I never seen him in that light where never in any changing room that I was in them that he did anything like that.
Aye. I think, but that just shows you. But he didn't need to do that. Didn't he know? It was just his presence, and it was probably the eyes he would give you, or rather than as you say, folks saying that he was launching stuff like that. I think he probably, he helped me with words here, Bob. He was.
No,
I mean, it's like
everybody.
Aye. He could command a room, couldn't he? Like just walk in and just command a room. Like it would be. I mean, the first time I seen him when I was with my brother-in-law, and I seen him in the director's box, and he walked in with Ethel. It's like, still, I'd met him a couple of times before that, but when you see him, I get starstruck. It's like you're like pure. Yeah, he commands a room, and you listen when he talks. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Well, I would just say, even I hadn't seen him for years up until that charity game, and even though you've known him for a long time, still when he speaks to you, you get the butterflies in your stomach. And that's not just me. That's players that have played with him for a long time, like Craig Mills and players like that. Still get the old butterflies when you speak to them. So that tells you what sort of man and the respect that everybody had for him.
Graham Alexander was speaking about the other night, and he says that he never ever believed in somebody having a presence until he played for Walter Smith at Scotland. Then he realised, I know what it means when somebody's got a presence. Like you know, like when you walk into a room, like how you react to him and stuff like that. And
Aye.
That's you see everybody saying the same sort of thing about him. He's even like Graham Alexander probably thought he was at the end of his career.
Aye.
And Walter called him up, and he says that reinsurged his career with Scotland. So that's what he had, and he never just done that for him. He done that for a lot of players through his career. Gaza, probably one of them.
What was he like on the training ground, Bob? What was he like to work with?
To be fair, very rarely did we, as kids, like come in first team training. He never really, never really took part. It was mostly Archie that did the training, and David Dodds. What would oversee it, make sure that nobody was taking the piss. But it's pretty hard when you've got Gascoigne and players like that in your team training. I can remember one day there was maybe about 10 of the youth players. We used to, if the first team, if the youth team had a game, we would go the next day up to the first team training and collect balls and stuff. And we get told to join in the warm up with the first team. And we were sitting and everybody's stretching, and the next minute you can see all the first team players like kind of leaving the vicinity. And don't remember the big boy Eric Bo Anderson.
Aye.
But he was sitting stretching, but he was facing away for Gaza, and Gaza's crawled up behind him and he's got his wallet out and started peeing on his leg. And so everybody's pissing themselves laughing, but the gaffer's just standing there shaking his head. There's nothing they can do. But the camera's not there, and he must be thinking to himself, what's happening here? But that's probably the only player that he could control him at a certain stage, but then Gaza was just that nuts that you could never fully control him.
There's that video into Walter up on the stage. He's talking about how he went out to Italy to sign him. He's like, I want you to sign for Rangers, Paul. And he's like, cool, right?
Aye.
I seen it last night.
Brilliant. What do you think Rangers will do to kind of like memorialise him, Bob? Do you think, what you thinking, a stand named after him?
I think you've got to, it's either got to be a stand and a statue, or name the stadium after him. I think that's how big he is.
100% agree, mate. 100%.
I know there's been plenty of times when they've spoke about the stadium getting renamed and stuff like that, but I think on this occasion it's only too fitting after the years in the service he's given to the club.
Right.
Brilliant, man. That's excellent. Aye, definitely.
What do you think of the football last night?
Oh, don't ruin it.
I never
man.
seen it, mate. We had a game last night against the Bees.
Yeah, Bob, how good was that boy? Was he good? The big boy up front that scored the hat trick. What was he like?
Is he no wee?
He was all right. No, he's not wee.
No.
He's decent, good movement. Obviously, good finisher. So I think there's a wee bit of excitement running about the future about that boy.
Good, mate. Good.
Allegro, that's it, innit? Allegro.
Is that you just googled it, Grado, man?
Oh, no.
And Allegro, that's a motor, is it no?
Right. Well, Bob, thanks so much for coming on and sharing your memories of Walter. And like the boy said, hope he gets immortalised within the stadium, with a statue, or even name the Copeland Road after him, or what have you. So, but thanks for coming on, Bob. Really appreciate it.
Have you heard I don't know if anybody's told you this story before, maybe the experts that have been on about the story about John Douglas and Walter Smith.
No, tell us.
No.
John Douglas he's a couple of years older than me, so he'd have been a pro at the time we were all apprentices. And Archie Knox used to always come in every day or every second day with their shoes. Now back then we had to wear shirt and tie. So you always had to wear a pair of shoes. So Archie used to come in without fail, say to John Douglas, I want mines in the gaffer shoes gleaming. I want to be able to see my face off the front of them and make sure the soles are clean. So John Douglas, Irish from Northern Ireland, mad as a brush, no got a clue. He polished the shoes, shined them, and then polished the gaffer's soles, thinking because Archie said to him he wanted them gleaning and clean the soles, that he'd fucking polished the soles. And but the gaffer had one of them SLs, now the wee two-seaters.
That's right,
Aye.
Brand spanking with big cream carpets inside.
Oh no!
Oh,
So the gaffer was going to something, and he's went into his motor, fucking black polish the bottom of his soles, driving about, and he notices it's all a bit of polish. So fair to say, the next day he comes in not too happy and starts going mental. But that was
brilliant.
That's the one person you wouldn't want to do that to was
No.
Walter Smith, and he did it, not even knowing that he done anything wrong.
It's brilliant, man.
Oh, brilliant. No, that's good, mate. It's good, as I say, and it's good to get a wee kind of laugh and all, because
Aye.
it's, it's obviously it's still rotty folk, but it's good to talk and celebrate, what a character he was, man. Nobody will ever forget him. To me, he's Mr. Rangers. Memories for he was a boy. We've got to thank him for, and he's just going to be. He's just a god.
It's like Heart and Hand said the other day, they hit the nail on the head. I think, man, the Rangers family's lost its father. That's what it's like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that is definitely that, man. Bob,
100%.
Thanks, mate. I appreciate you giving up your time,
worries,
mate. I
lad.
appreciate it, bud.
No probs.
All the best
Have
with
a
that,
good one.
Law. All the best, man.
Cheers.
What are you going for at Halloween?
What?
What are you going
I
for?
want to dress up as you, but your thing would be a wee bit too big for me. Your costume.
Costume.
He's already gave it to fucking Jamie Langfield anyway, Bob.
Oh, is he?
Aye. Right.
Cheers, Bob, mate. Take care,
No worries,
bud.
lads.
You're
Have a
in
good
the
one.
fire.
See you later.
Football Daft's big question.
Have you got your pumpkin ready? Stephen, did the Waynes have done a pumpkin yet?
Yes, they went pumpkin picking at the weekend, but because I had the COVID, I had a pick-up day to film River City, so it's the first year since they've been born. I missed it and I was gutted.
Oh,
I know.
Grado, I mean, you're now a dad to be, and you've got the wee one kicking about the house now. What's she dressing up as?
A scary ballerina.
Ballerina.
Zombie ballerina. Is very
Ballerina, aye.
That'll be that zombies program. Now, the big question we were talking about it last week, before we get into the big question, the big question is, did Jamie Langfield get the Grado top sent to him?
I did, and I basically came out the Go radio station at 10 o'clock, then found out about water, and I had to go straight there. So I was still greeting when I walked into St Martin's Ground. I'm like, I was like, fucking really taking this bad about water. And I handed her the singlet, the knee pads, the bum bag, and the bonnet. And I washed the singlet. I left it all night, but the knee pads were fucking bogging, man.
Is he gone as Grado?
Well, I don't know if it's a Grado or a wrestler, but he's got all my gear.
That is brilliant, man. That's big Langfield, big Clangers, man.
Aye.
So is this for a St Mirren party, or is this him just kicking about the house?
I don't even know, man, but I've told him, like, that singlet that I've gave him is a singlet that I wore in Switzerland when I won the tag team titles. I gave him a pair of boots that I wrestled in Mexico City. So he knows there's a lot of legacy in the gear that I've gave him. You know what I mean?
Well, better come back in one piece. You know what? Did you see any of the St Mirren players kicking about when you were there?
No, it was just all office women and stuff like that. They were kind of talking away to me. They were lovely, but
oh, there you go. We need to get. I'd love to get Big Jim on the program.
He's a big handsome bastard, isn't he?
I'm sure I got him that Drew McIntyre video and he said he was going to come on the podcast.
Well, let's tap him up because we'd love to. I'd love to get him on. I think he's a big handsome man. I
think if we're looking at things here, I think really St Mirren owe the Football Daft podcast quite a bit at the moment, because obviously Grado's giving out his historical wrestling gear that comes with a big pedigree, and Jim Goodwin also got a Drew McIntyre video from Grado. So St Mirren, if you're listening, St Mirren, help us out.
Jim, he is a handsome guy, but do you know think he looks a bit like a skull?
A
skull?
He looks a bit like Kenny Rogers. He's got that white hair, the white beard.
Aye. I think he looks like, I don't know, man, he looks like maybe one of the fucking baddies for that 80s movie, Roadhouse, man. He looks like Patrick Swayze's brother or something, his best pal in Roadhouse, man.
The assistant bouncer, fucking, there's big Jim Roadhouse.
See if you put like fucking Chappelle's on the hat and all that, he looks like fucking the guy for Roadhouse.
Brilliant. I tell you what, that's next week's big question. What football should star in what films? Jim Goodwin, Roadhouse.
I would be here all day with that. So
right, okay, well, that's next week's big question. So think about it. This week's big question, we're talking about Halloween, though, and we asked you to take a footballer and make them spooky. Now, we're going to give you bonus points if you made them from Scottish football. Have you got, Grado, you've been thinking of one, haven't you?
Eric Boo Anderson.
Brilliant.
I was going to go with Boo and all, but it was Magic Boo Guerra.
Oh, that's all right. That's good.
That works as well.
Well,
That works as
I've got Nigel Spickman.
Good. That is good.
Yeah.
That is good.
It's a good one. Let me think.
And Paul McSlay.
Paul McSlay.
I've got a really scary one.
Right.
Terry Hullock.
Brilliant. There you go. The listeners, boys have been
You could say terrified. Hullock.
terrified. Look. Brilliant. Listeners, I think you've got the listeners' responses in front of you there, boys.
Oh, there we go.
Oh,
I'll go in good.
yes, we're very professional with that, John.
Right, we've got Martin who says Kyle Gul for the Hashi.
Well, that's a good
Iogo
one.
Furuhashi, decent.
I'll just keep going. Bob.
You just keep going because I'm trying to find it.
Scott says Peter Cech under the bed.
I quite like that. That's quite good.
He also says Arjun Apple Bobbin.
Iron, apple, bobbin instead Iron Robin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ryan Jackal Lantern.
Ryan Jack-o'-lantern's no bad. That's no bad.
Michael's got a good one. Keith Fright.
Keith Fry's good.
That's good. That is good.
Vertigo says Joe Aribu and Peter Grantichrist. Hampshire Pundit says Shinspooky Nakamura.
Should speak Nakamura.
Grant says Jan Venagor of Hesselhink.
Nice.
Jonathan Gould and Serial Quella. Robert says Mark Grim Reaper. Callum says Eric Bullen. David Eric Boo Anderson. Oh, this is a good one. Dick says Alfred Omarella.
Oh, that's quite clever.
Glasgow Lockdown says Connor Gilson. And Jason says Martin Bonnie Boyle. Oh, no, I've got Casper the Friendly Ghost Schmeichel.
I can't believe his name just said Magic Bugera.
I know. There's a couple of good ones. This one at the bottom as well. I don't know if you've seen this one. Jimmy Cauldron Wood, Hump Kenny Miller, and Frankenstein McAvenny.
Grant says Ange Gostacoglu.
Nice one. And Ross has loads. He's went for, listen, strap in for these ones. Skella Tony Watt, Andy Spider Webster, Alan Mame, Murder McLeod, Warlock Hans, I don't know what that one is. Hans Haunted Heel House.
That's a good one.
Near Beaten by a Zombie.
Does that mean near beaten by a zombie?
Yeah. And the final one, I think you'll appreciate, former guest on the show, Mickey Werewolf.
Oh, he's struggling there, man.
He's struggling.
He's struggling there, man. That was this week's big question.
The Pro Set Playoff is on with piesports.com. Scottish football fans consume about 1 million pies a year, and we like to give them away with Pie Sports every week here on Football Daft. If you're looking for the favourites, the scotch, the steak and gravy, the macaroni, they've got them, but they've also got a variety of other flavours. You can do chicken and chorizo, curry pies, the full shebang. Pick your formation, get them online, they'll get sent to your door. They deliver to free of charge to a lot of postcodes across Scotland, and they'll get them to about 48 hours, so you've got them for the football this weekend. Give them a call as well if you can't get online. 0141 739 9999, 0141 739 9999. So every week, like I say, we like to give away a package here on Football Daft, and on to play today for the pies, it is Thistle supporter Darren. How you doing, Darren?
Not bad. Boys, how you doing? All right?
Oh,
Good, mate, good. And I'm really glad we've got you on, mates. I know John's been patching you quite a lot, man, because your team kept scudding them in League One last season. Welcome to the show, Dan.
It was just impressive they managed to finish fifth in a two-horse race, to be honest. So,
oh, Jesus. It's a car. I'm assuming you have all seen the Falkirk
yes.
like Q&A. Yes, I'm sure everyone's seen that by now. Just, Gregors, you've not seen this yet?
No.
Oh, Jesus Christ, it's embarrassing. It was trending across the UK, this.
I've not seen it yet, either.
It was well
okay, that's fine then. We'll just skip over that then. Fantastic. Let's move
2
on.
hours. 2 hours of just brilliant. It was great. I'll tag you in it later on.
Oh, cheers, mate.
Cheers,
Cheers, mate.
No.
Brilliant.
Brilliant. Well, Dan, thanks for coming on the show. We're going to play for the Pies. You probably, if you've heard the show before, you'll know how it works. I'm going to read out a player description, and you've got to buzz in and guess the player. Person who buzzes in, gets it right, gets a point. First to two wins. If you buzz in, however, you get it wrong, play continues for the other person. First to two wins. Right, so we're going to flip a coin for it, Dan, to see who you're playing, either Stephen or Grado. Heads Grado's, tails Stephen. It is tails Stephen Purden, who's been away for ages, so it's good that you can get
I was here 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
I'd have rather Grado.
Would you have rather Grado? Right.
I don't see. Right, I've not lost a lot of these games, but I've not played
That's
a lot
the
of them.
That's the worry, you've not lost a lot.
Well,
No, but I've not played a lot. Grado's probably. I think Grado's better. He's got a better memory. He's got a mad, weird, fucked up memory. He remembers all these players for years ago.
What we doing today?
Well, this is it. Well, we started this last week. Remember, Grado, we did Danish players that have played in Scotland. I thought we'd continue on that theme, so we're going to go for Argentinians that have played in
Oh, right.
Okay. So I don't know how many Argentinians have played for Thistle, Darren.
No, mostly just boys from Mary Hill. I think that's pretty much
Right,
pull them
so
off the streets.
I need to get your buzzer, Stephen. What's your buzzer?
Mine's will be Maradona.
Nice. What are you going to go for, Darren?
5-0.
I knew you were going to say that. For fuck's sake. Right, here we go. Okay, first Argentinian out the hat. Here we go. Starting his career with Platense, this player was signed by Ivan Benetti at Dundee.
Maradona.
You're going to... Right, Stephen, you've come in first. Who is it?
It's not the obvious one, is it?
Somebody else signed a lot of Argentinians, did they not?
They signed loads of Argentinians.
Fabian Caballero.
No, it's not. Right, I'll continue with the
That is the
clue.
obvious one.
I'll continue with the clue. He spent 3 years at the club, helping them to a Scottish Cup final against Rangers, and was described by the Herald as inspirational. Eventually, he won a move down south where he signed for Crystal Palace, where he spent 11 years, mostly there as their number one choice.
I've got it. 5-0. Julian Speroni.
It is Julian.
Jumped in too early. Jumped in too early.
Far too early.
Right, next player out. Here we go. 1-0 to Darren. Another Argentinian that Dundee signed was this striker who signed...
Maradona.
Right, Stephen, who is it?
Is it the Caballero?
It is Caballero. That was that could have went one way or the other there. So 1-1. Time for the decider here, boys. Right, you ready? This Argentinian ended up in Scotland after a move from Mallorca. He marked his debut with 2 goals as Rangers came from 3-0. Darren was in first.
It's not who I thought it was, because I don't even think he's Argentinian.
Go for it.
No Kanchelskis. Don't even think he's Argentinian.
No, it's not Kanchelskis. No, Russian.
Nightmare.
Right, Stephen, do you want me to continue or do you want to just give me the answer?
Continue a wee bit.
I think I've got it.
I've got it, I think, but I just want to make sure.
He marked his debut with 2 goals as Rangers came from 3-0 down against Shelburne to win 5-3 after a £4.2 million move. He won
Gabriel Amato.
It is Gabriel Amato. 2-1. 2-1. There you go. And just for you, the last one was this player has played in 2 World Cups and scored in...
Maradona! Canija.
It is Canija. There you go. You're desperate to say that all along.
Do you know who I thought you were going to go for a pure obscure one? Actually, I said Kerry Home Rangers. I thought you were going to throw in fucking Federico Nieto.
He might be before my time. I don't even think I know that name.
No, mate, he was like...
I'm only 30. Only 30. I know I look a lot older, but...
Stop showing after. Do you know what, mate? You're only 30. You've probably not got the belly I've got yet, so you can have the pies, right?
I'm just going to the gym now, so we'll see how that goes.
Brilliant.
See how that goes.
Fantastic, Dan. Brilliant. Well, listen, thank you so much for coming on.
Boys.
Good luck to Thistle this season. I think you'll get the playoffs.
Hope so. Good luck to Falkirk and not getting
relegated. Thank you for that, Dan. Appreciate that. And listen, if you want to win,
I wish I could say good luck to Rangers, but there's just not.
That's not going to happen.
You know what? You're not getting the pies, Dan.
Give me 2. Sorry, give me 2.
If you want to get pies, head to piesports.com.
It's now time for Grado's 3 Riddles on Football Daft.
working with 3 riddles to footballers or someone involved with Scottish football. It's Grado's 3 riddles. Play along wherever you are and listen to see if you can beat the boys. Before we start this week's episode, congratulations to everybody who got last week's riddle, which we threw out to you, and you got it right. Bob, did you know what it was? And I want you to see if you can have a wee bash at it.
No, go for it. I genuinely don't know what it is.
Right, I'll give you 20 seconds. Phoning one of the Spice Girls whilst banging something.
Sounds like me in my fucking 20s. Phoning one of the Spice Girls while banging something.
Should have countdown clock going at this point, shouldn't we?
Aye.
20 seconds are up. The answer, of course, was Colin Meldrum. Congratulations to Scott Killen, Martin Hagney, Adam and Craig Gray. However, Jack was in first, so you are this week's Riddle Man of the Match.
Well played.
Time for this week's riddles, and the current score is Christopher on 16, John 13, Stevie is on 6, Ryan is on 1, and Jack is on 1. So here we go. The first one. A conservative ex-wife of Jordan letting things circulate.
Tory Andrew Flo.
Well done!
Oh! Boom!
Well done, mate. Well done, mate.
That is good.
This one should be fairly easy. Valley in the centre of town. Valley in the centre of town. Valley in the centre of town.
Valley in the centre of town.
I thought you should have got this like instantly.
Valley.
A valley.
A valley as in a valet, or a valley as in...
As in a valley, as in Valley. What was another word for a valley?
I thought you meant like a valet as in someone that cleans your car and that.
No. All right, no.
Yeah, okay. Centre of town. It's a word for a valley.
I know, that's what I'm trying to think.
A word for a valley.
I mean, it's a narrow valley. What is a narrow valley? A
Gorge?
Valley? No. Gorge.
Not a gorge. A narrow valley.
If he's kind of get this one, will we get this one out to the listeners? What do you think? If he's kind
Aye. Go then.
Right, okay, let's give that to the listeners. Give that one to the listeners. So there you go.
Really, really easy, man. I really am surprised at that. Okay. This one, I'm only going to do the second name because the first name's a fucking pain in the ass to get, right? So it's the second name of somebody, right? Where they film Take the High Road and Playing a Wee Game.
Glenn Louvens? No.
No, but that's funny. You said Glenn Louvens. Just nah.
No, I don't know.
Is Glenn Louvin something to do with the fucking valley one?
A wee bit.
Glenn Kamara?
That's a camera.
Close, but no. So we're back to the fucking second one now.
But the second one. Glenn.
Glenn Hoddle?
No, Glenn.
Valley in the centre of town.
Glen Square. No, Glen.
That's what I was saying.
He's staring you in the face.
Staring in the face. In the centre of town. Glen Busy, Glen City, Glen. We're back to the second one. Glen Kamala, Glen.
Centre of town.
Centre of town.
Hey, if you're in the centre.
Glen Middleton.
Hey!
Oh.
I'm taking the point for that, by the way. The point for that.
Right, now the third one again. Where they found Take the High Road and Playing a Wee Game.
in a game. Glendarrick. No. Is it the fictional place or is it the... Oh, what's the name of the place they actually film it?
I know, come on.
It's the actual place they film it in Loch Lomond, isn't it?
Right.
You're not. It's not the fictional Glendarrick. We're thinking of the act. Oh, right. Okay. I'm on it. Right. So, right. I'm gonna loose fig.
Yeah, let's think.
Fig. Yeah. That's brilliant, Grado. That is brilliant.
That was good, man.
That's great.
Riddles.
Well, hold on. Will we throw it? Because this worked out really well last week. Before we get into the outro, will we throw it out to the listeners?
Right, so I just want to let the listeners know at this point, I'm going to hand over to John. John thinks he can do a bit of riddling.
Oh, no.
I'm not being associated with his shitey riddles, so we'll give him a wee bash. So let him have a wee go. So this is this week's John's riddle for
The listeners.
Punters.
Okay.
Punters.
Here we go. The riddle, first one in on Twitter with this one will get themselves on the board. Right. Lifts a car at County. What is that one? There we go. Right, throw it to the listeners. Brilliant, thanks, Grado. It's time for the Eldorado Swanky Moment of the Week. Remember, ask for LD any swanky bar. It's easy to drink, short, fruity, and finish with a trace of caffeine. You boys have had your bottles, haven't you?
Beautiful.
Oh, aye.
Oh, that was tanned a long time.
Beautiful.
It's available at your local convenience store right now. Get them followed on Facebook or Instagram, Eldorado Tonic Wine, or check them out, eldoradotonicwine.com. The boys from Eldorado Tonic are going to come down to the studio next week. We're not in the studio this week for many a reason, but they're coming down. They've got a swanky Cadillac that they're going to be coming down with next week to get some pictures taken with.
Oh, I want a shot.
Yeah, so the Eldorado Tonic boys will be able to see those pictures soon. But we celebrate the taste of Eldorado on Football Daft by picking out our swanky moments from Scottish football, and we get to you to vote on them at Football Daft Pod on Twitter. Now, Stephen, you missed last week. Here were the choices. See what you would have voted for. We had Chris was choosing the Hearts Succession top. I don't know if you saw that. Succession, the programmes did a charity top for Hearts.
Yes.
So that sponsor made up, which was absolute class. Grado went for Newcastle's Dr. Tom Pritchard after the heart attack in the stand.
Yes.
Martin, the listener, went for Jota's ball for Kyogo against Ferencváros. And I went for Chris Boyd's smile being wiped off his face within 2 minutes. Because after the Hearts game, because he was slagging off Jeff Stelling, and then about 2 minutes later, Jeff was getting it back to him. What would you have voted for?
I would have went for probably Tolls.
Well, the results in Toll was in last place with 10% of
Was
the
he?
vote. Yep, 20% of the vote went to Grado and Newcastle Dr. Tom Pritchard. Second place, it was the listeners. It was Martin with Jota's ball for Kyogo. First place, however, was my good self, Chris Boyd's smile being wiped off his face on Soccer Saturday. So that was last week's choices, but what are this week's? Stephen Purden, since you've been off for weeks and months, what's your nomination?
Right, I'm going to go with this because he looked swanky. I thought there was something quite swanky about it, that Rangers are playing against St Mirren, wasn't it? Was it St Mirren, wasn't it?
St Mirren, yeah.
They scored an absolute world day, and then we finally came back and won the game. But then you turn Super Sunday on. As soon as he's sitting there looking fucking dapper with Jamie Carragher, Gary Neville, and a guy we could have been doing with Jermaine Defoe. I love the balls in the guy, and I think it's swanky that he's going, look, Stevie, don't put me in the squad this week. I'm doing Super Sunday down the road.
A swanky spot, to be fair.
And I loved how he's just kind of, Gary Neville looked like he was going to have a breakdown. His fucking Carragher and Sirius was getting tore into him, and Defoe's just sitting like that. Do you know what I mean? I think there's something just quite swanky about it, I think.
I know. He obviously realised the heat he was getting because straight after it's like, congratulations to Alfredo on his 100th goal. Tweet went straight out after, eh?
But I think it's like one of the ones. What's that, mate?
Rangers tweeted and all. Good to see Jermaine Defoe down in the sky. They would never have tweeted that. It's because
No.
I mean, is he not meant to be in the bench as a coach?
That's what you would think.
I think, do you know what? I think Gerrard, no matter if Morelos is a wee bit, maybe looking a bit overweight and that, or somebody's not pulling their weight in training, if JD goes like that, look, Gaffer, I'm going down the road to the Super City this week. Gerrard's like, no bother, mate. Somebody goes like that about Jermaine, Gerrard just gives him a death stare. Are you fucking talented?
Grado, what's your swanky moment?
My swanky moment of the week is a St Mirren player who, what was his name?
Richard Tate.
Richard, I thought you said Richard Taint as a wee tribute. Richard Taint's front bump over the barrier. He was running so fast and he went out the park, jumped over the barrier, but swankiness in the front bump. I mean, I trained for years to perfect a front bump and not injure myself, and he done it no bother, and he looked good, got up, rubbed himself off, and then played the rest of the game and gave us a wee hee-haw and a giggle.
And I think a lot of football players could learn a lot for that, like what they go down for in a game, never mind what. Do you know what I mean?
Are you talking about last night?
Well, I'm touching on it, these Aberdeen players fucking getting a bit of wind blowing them and they're doing for fucking 5 minutes. Fucking Richard Tate's fucking flying out barriers, doing forward rolls and getting up and getting on with it.
Does Richard Tate have a potential future in the wrestling world, Grado?
Who knows, mate? He's the taint.
Tate the taint.
Well, listen, obviously St Mirren owes a favour. Maybe we could get Richard on the show and have a wee chat with him.
St Mirren fucking owes a fortune there, didn't he, man?
Exactly. Listen, I'll go for... I know we don't normally go for our own clubs, but I've got to go for this. So, you guys haven't seen it yet, but the absolute shit show, which was the Q&A with the Falkirk board, which was trending across the UK, and now everyone is getting fucking torn in about Falkirk as a result of this.
I can't believe I've not seen this.
I can't believe you've not seen it. It's been all over the place. Everyone is slagging us off because and to be fair, it's like the board went up. They basically said we shouldn't be booing the players. We shouldn't be booing the players because they can't take it, and it's all our fault. They basically said it's pretty much the fans' fault. This guy went up, right? He did this monologue, beautiful monologue, very well-researched monologue, asked a question at the end of it. However, the chairman goes, that's a statement, not a question. So that was the first fucking thing that happened. So immediately everyone's on their backs. So as a result of it, hats off to the Falkirk supporter who has created a t-shirt especially to honour the board, and all the money's going towards the Falkirk Foundation. Basically, it has the word boo on the front of it because that's what the players are scared of, apparently, getting booed. And then on the back of it, it says, that's a statement, not a question. Hats off to that. So I'm giving, I don't know who's made that t-shirt, but that is getting my nomination. In fact, I think it might have been my brother that's made it, actually. Now I've looked at the post.
Is it?
I think my brother's maybe made it.
Yeah. That should be the name of this week's episode. This is a statement, not a question.
Yeah, there you go. That's definitely in tribute to Falkirk. So I am nominating that, and I think it's my brother. I'll have to. So my brother gets the nomination for his t-shirt design for that. So there you go. I didn't even realise it until I checked there.
If you can't miss it, the bar's open. There are no fire drills booked in for tonight either. So if there is a bell goes off, it is a genuine one, and run like hell, basically. Okay, so. The reason I'm calling this now is because we have got loads of questions to get through.
He was telling folk after at the start talking.
Let's hear the start it.
First of all, I have to tell you about if you want the toilet out that door at the back there,
Right.
it's in front of you.
Right, that gets to the bit where there's a 5-minute monologue, right? This guy goes on, who's very well researched and very good.
Oh, I've got a good bit here.
let's make one thing clear, because there's this recurring theme that we're blaming fans. We're not blaming fans. We are not. No.
Yeah, it's like the fucking House of Commons.
I didn't go to.
Let me finish.
We're not blaming fans. What we're saying is there are certain behaviours that are unacceptable and not helpful to the collective. Good.
2 hours it's 2 hours of gold, gentlemen.
John, why were you not there?
I wasn't there because I'm so apathetic at the moment. That's the problem. I'm so apathetic. It didn't.
Right, John, is there a chance you could go down to League Two this year?
There could be. I couldn't rule anything out.
Right, all joking aside, right? A team like Falkirk, if they go down to League Two, that is an absolute disaster, isn't it?
Aye, of course it is. I mean, it's the end of the club. It's the end of the club. But aye, I'm so apathetic at the moment. But some changes need to be made. But anyway.
That was a statement, not a question.
That was a statement, not a question. The listener's choice comes this week from Daz on our Twitter. Now, Grado, you might have seen this in the Ayrshire derby.
Oh, I heard it was kicking. Was it kicking off last night? No.
The Kilmarnock bus windows got panned in, but however, Kilmarnock goalkeeper Zach Hemming, this is the swanky moment as nominated by Daz, basically set his location on Instagram to shithole after playing away.
I seen that!
After playing rivals Ayr. So he set Somerset Park as shithole and checked in as shithole on Instagram. That is total shithousery, and that is the swanky nomination from the listeners this week. So there you go. Our swanky nominations are as follows. Stephen Purden, what is your swanky moment?
Defoe takes a day off.
Grado, what is yours?
Richard Taint takes a tumble.
Mine's is, that is a statement, not a question. And finally, from the listeners, we've got Somerset Park shithouse. So that is this week's nomination for the swanky moment. Please get onto our socials, vote for what you think should be this week's swanky moment. And remember, Eldorado Tonic Wine, Scotland's own, is now Football Daft. Remember, you can get more content from Football Daft right now on our Patreon channel. Just in case you don't know what that is, basically, it's a service that's going to give you more content from us. You sign up there, it's got 3 tiers up there. You can get a cameo from Stephen Purden. Mm-hmm. You get Stephen Purden wishing your granny happy birthday. You can do, what else will you do, Stephen?
For the Patreon listeners, pretty much anything. I'll do a birthday wish. I'll do a get well soon.
Yep.
I'll just do a general hello. I'll do a
hello.
hello.
We do. I have to say, we are not fucking Wagner. We are not going to get caught out by any of these dodgy ones that come through. We will get caught out by that.
No, Mad Wagner slagging off the Arabs and all that. Dundee United and no, we're not.
No. But so listen. You can try your best, but the best way to do that is sign up to patreon.com/football daft. You get the video version of the show, video versions of Rangers and Celtic Daft, chance to come on as a pundit on Rangers and Celtic Daft, free t-shirts. We're still sending a few out, which people have been chasing me up for. We'll get that here. But yeah, you can pick what you sign up for, patreon.com/football daft. And up there as well, we do our teammates, where all our former guests, we've asked them questions such as, who's the best you played with?
Top shagger.
Taste and close. And of course, the famous one, like Stephen says, who's the top shagger? Which very few people have answered unless they played with Alan McGregor. So if you want to get that, you get that at patreon.com/football daft. And talking of teammates, let's give you a taster of one of our former guests. It's Rangers and Motherwell man, Maurice Ross.
Worst dressed.
He would probably kill me for saying it, but probably Stefan Klos.
I can imagine that.
Again, with the big kind of baggier jeans and all that, and he likes going. That's how he liked his biking and all that, didn't he? That's how he gets
baggy jeans with Adidas Torsion trainers on.
No, that's wrong right away, mate. Yeah, that's not right.
I'll take that one.
But he was a top keeper, so that worked out.
Oh, absolutely.
Moniest.
Barry Ferguson, twin. He wins it twice.
Everybody says that.
Oh,
ex-Rangers to everyone.
But again, you can't say on the Barry, can you? For the output, you had, but no, terrible. After him, nah, he wins it hands down.
Who do you want to back you up in a fight?
Probably Kevin Muscat or Neil McCann. We Neil McCann, you would maybe be surprised with that, but we Neil, he can handle himself. As David May found out in a pre-season friendly over in Austria.
That's right. I remember that.
Remember that?
It wasn't a friendly. It was actually in the nightclub after it. One of the days when you're allowed to socialise.
Best looking?
Big Charlie Mulgrew, I would say him.
Aye. Yes.
We had Charlie Aberdeen. He's a big smoothie.
He is a handsome fella, but has he got a hair transplant as well, Bobby? Did he not get your guy? Did he know? No, I know he looks as if he wouldn't need a hair transplant, but I've heard he's had some work done. He's been it.
I don't think so, man. I've not heard that with Charlie.
That's proper locks he's got.
This is what I've heard through the grapevine. We need to find that out. Find out next.
Teacher's pet?
Right, we've got one at Motherwell now. Stevie O'Donnell, who he asks questions that he knows the answers to. Do you know what I mean?
Aye.
I know. You know that teacher. You know, he's like that all the time. It can be the most self-explanatory drill ever that everybody gets. He needs to ask the question to, like, you know what I mean, just prepare yourself forward. Like.
That's murder.
And he's having a good wee run with Scotland now, so it might be even worse when he comes back, mate.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping that he continues it with Motherwell when he comes back.
Aye. He's doing well, man. Doing well.
Who never gets the round in?
Davy Henderson, and by the way, I'm talking about nowadays. Never gets the coffees. Never pays for his golf. The wee physio at Motherwell. Wee Henderson.
Right.
Never. By the way, the gaffer, he borrowed money off the gaffer on a golfing trip and paid them back in Strixon golf balls. Bringing them in wee random Strixons. Not even a step, just like one's a Strixon 2, one's a Strixon 4. Oh.
Yeah, that is going to be a sign of the times, but in it now.
Aye.
It's not around now. It's who got the Costa round in it, basically. That's what it's like.
Definitely.
Biggest bam up merchant?
I'm thinking Motherwell, and now we've got Charles Dunn and maybe Chris Long. They two are up to all sorts.
Right.
And being bad boys, messing about.
A headache for the manager.
Aye, proper. I probably shouldn't divulge too much. Sorry. Aye, they're up to all sorts. I mean, petty stuff, like immature stuff. You're like, really, man? You're 26 now. Do you need to be doing this?
Putting
chilies in the soup and just that immature stuff, man.
Pain in the arses.
Aye, no real banter. It's just like,
stop that.
Aye, it's not even funny.
Top shagger?
Oh, back in the day, I would say Big Amo must have done a fair.
Aye.
That's a shout, isn't it?
And that was the single guy that I picked on there. But Big Amo, he was handsome and he looked at a partner, didn't he? He gave all that Italian chat.
He's still throwing it about on Italian version of Love Island, didn't he? So, I mean, he was messing about in Love Island. So.
Good on him.
Aye. Loved the life, isn't he?
He's not as bonny as he used to be though now, is he?
No, he's not.
Best you've played with?
I've touched on this before. I think Barry, pound for pound, would be Barry Ferguson. Of course, you've got the glamorous ones with your Canadians and whatnot. Where I'm at now, at the minute, I would say the most talented I've worked with would be David Turnbull.
He's a good player.
And the most, for me as a coach, I can't influence David Turnbull as such because he's so technically gifted, but I would say the boy that responds so well to coaching would be Alan Campbell. The midfielder plays with the 21s of Scotland. I think he's got a big career ahead of him. Good player. He's one that I would say, he can go and kick on and do really well.
So that's it for this week's Football Daft. Thank you very much for listening. Remember, check out all the previous episodes in the archive. You can do that. Thanks, boys. It's been a good laugh, as ever.
Yes, I have thoroughly enjoyed myself. It's good being back. It's good seeing you guys.
It's good to see you as well. Are you dressing up as anything for Halloween? What are you doing?
I'm going to Arica.
Oh,
tomorrow.
Home of Derek Johnson.
Yeah, from Friday till Sunday for a wee extended birthday present for my father-in-law. We're staying in a big house with a pool table, a hot tub, all that jazz, and we're dressing up as the Addams family.
Beautiful.
Me and I can't wait.
Are you going to do the shave? You going to go for the full,
Oh, I could, because I'm out of continuity. I could get rid of all that and keep that just for...
Yeah.
Man.
I'm assuming you're not going as Fester.
No, I'm Gomez, mate.
I thought you would be going as Gomez. That's what I'm asking.
No, I mean,
What are you doing, John? Are you dressing up?
I'm dressing up tomorrow for the radio. I'm going to be dressing up because I've got nothing else. I'm going to do Rowdy Roddy Piper for the radio tomorrow.
That's my era wrestling, by the way.
There we go. We're in it. How do you do it for apples? You're obviously down Ayrshire way, Grado, as well. Killoween. How fucking mental is that?
Killoween?
Killoween, aye. You've heard of Killoween, surely.
What's that?
Ayrshire boy. No, Kilmarnock celebrate Halloween on a Friday. The last Friday of October is Kilmarnock celebrate Halloween on the Friday.
I tried to bring this up on the radio last week, right? We in Ayrshire, especially down my way, and I'm surprised it's not still the case because it was on my, I'm on my Facebook street account. I don't know if any of you are on your street's Facebook. There's a wee group for everybody in the streets on the man Facebook, and everybody was asking.
Aye.
The rain's going out on the Saturday this weekend because obviously Halloween falls on a Sunday, and most of them were saying no. But I remember when I was away, if Halloween landed on a Sunday, we'd go out on a Saturday.
Do you know what? It's kind of, since we've stayed where we stay, like, not in this, but in this area, it's always tried to make it the Saturday. I know what you mean. But still on the day, even if it falls on a Sunday, we'll still treat it like Halloween. But I know what you mean, like go out, trick or treating, come round the doors and all that if it's a Saturday.
I can't believe you've not heard of Killoween. They're all mad in Kilmarnock. Last Friday, October's when they celebrate Halloween. Doesn't matter what the year. There you go. So there you go. Go and celebrate Killoween. Thank you very much for listening to this week's show. Enjoy your Halloween. Couple of tasty matches this week. What you thinking for the Rangers, boys?
No comment.
Looking down at Aberdeen Hearts, looks like it'll be a decent match now. Aberdeen have found form.
Aberdeen don't get paid.
100% Hearts will pump them.
Do you think so?
Aye, because that's Aberdeen put the performance in.
And I'll shout out for a tasty game in League One. Cove Rangers versus Queen's Park should be a cracker as well.
Who's Falkirk playing, John?
No, I don't know. Clyde. We're playing Clyde away, so... Remember, get us on social, Twitter at Football Daft Pod, Football Daft Podcast on Insta, and search for Football Daft on Facebook. Join up, give us your chat, that would be great, and then we'll see you next week on the show, I guess.
Yes. Yes.
We might see Stephen, who knows?
I don't know, man. Stephanie's about to drop.
That's true. Grado might not be here off.
Will we
ever have a full complement of people together ever again? God.
Imagine Grado, man, just in the fucking hospital, man, holding the laptop and all that, right, Hen? Right, Grado's 3 riddles.
Brilliant.
That's funny.